Grab your beverages and turn up your interweb. Coming to you live from the Mecum Auto Auction in Houston, Texas, you're listening to Dudes and Beer. Well, hello everybody, and we are back. I am Chris Jordan, your host. Welcome back to the Dudes and Beer exclusive coverage of the auction floor from the Mecum Auto Auction here in Houston, Texas. With me once again is Stephen Bishop, as well as Julie Connally and Randy Jordan, as well as our good friend from the Dallas area, Pops Davis. Hello. And we've been here just having a hoot and a holler all day long, looking at beautiful, beautiful pieces of American muscle machine
and European
and European ingenuity, and even some Japanese pizzazz. I think there's been a couple pieces of some, but it's amazing sitting over here and getting to watch all this stuff literally just feet away from us. Like, Mecum treats us so well, and I want to give another huge shout out to Dave Morton, who is our media connection. He handles all the media for Mecum, and he's such a great guy. We're looking at possibly being able to go up and do Mecum in Dallas in September.
Hell yeah.
So that's going to be fantastic. Greatly looking forward to that. And in addition to that, we also want to thank the Mecum family, Dana and Frank, as well as all of the people that work here at Mecum. The car pushers are the guys that get it done. The drivers are the guys that make sure the cars get to where they're supposed to be on the auction block so you can see it the way it's supposed to be seen. And it's just an experience beyond belief. Like the nice gentleman said earlier who purchased Big Red, it's even just to come and see it. Even if you've been to an auto show, you've never been to a Mecum Auto Auction. I've been to auto auctions before, and whenever I first stepped foot into Mecum, it was like, wow, this is an experience beyond all get out. As an audio video guy, to see the rig that they bring with them of production, to know that it is a live simulcast to NBC Sports all day long for 3 days straight. And to know that they invite broadcasts like ours that are up and coming.
They help the little man.
And, just like we learned with kids, with Grania from helping children with cancer, Caring kids cancer. It's about finding something you believe in and following that. And once you do that, you'll never work a day in your life. It's about passion, it's about love, and to see what these people have put into these vehicles for years sometimes, to turn them around to the condition that they're in, to make them the moving, rolling works of art that they are, is just something on another level. Julie, what has your experience been today being a convert?
I do believe this is Julie's first one, isn't it?
It is. It's my first one. Growing up on the East Coast, we had boat shows. I mean, I'm sure there were probably auto shows, but it was always boats. I went to boat auctions and boat shows, and everything was boats. So to see the cars, like, I never really had a huge appreciation. My dad was kind of a car guy. He always had cool cars, but I think they were just because they looked cool more than, like, he knew what to do with them, you know?
Yeah.
So this is really neat, and the people have been phenomenal, and the fact that Mecum, which seems to be a fairly large organization, has teamed up with small charities and helps with the vets, and it's just really cool to see how one family has sort of branched out to make such a difference in several different communities, because I know it's not just in Houston. They're all over the country. It's pretty fantastic. It's been a great day. I've had a blast.
Fantastic. I love hearing that. I like hearing people's first outings at things like this, because it can be a little rough. I mean, it can be overwhelming. It can be hard to really take in what's going on your first time at something like this. Like, I know whenever Nelson and I first went to Mecum, before we ever covered it with Dudes and Beer, just walking around for those few days, like, as many cars as you see in here today, there were just as many in here yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and on this sheet, there's probably listed about 300-400 cars, close to, with the size print they got.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's got to be close to about 400 cars. Got to be about 100 on each part of this list.
200 each day.
Yeah.
That's 600 cars.
Yeah. And I mean, it went through. I want to say they had 1,500 come through last year. It was crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was nuts. They had 500 cars a day for 3 days.
Wow.
Here
It
in
looks
Houston.
like there's 93 per page if I'm doing the math
that was
correctly.
Okay.
Big auction that year.
Yeah.
We just had a black Lamborghini right in front of us.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
checking out that Lambo earlier.
Yeah, very nice. Just feet away from us.
Yep.
Just sitting there in front of us.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. Here's a sweet Chevelle though.
Yeah, look at that.
It is just fine as I'll get out with that air scoop on the front.
Just popping up out of the hood like that.
And, you know, as we wind coverage down, as we do like finish up our last hour here at Mecum, I don't know, it's always kind of bittersweet because we're tired. It's been a long day. We've taken in a lot of information. It's a loud environment, so it tends to wear down on you.
Sure does.
We've taken in more beer and more beer.
A lot of
and more
beer,
beer.
a lot of fumes.
Yeah. And it's it just gets overwhelming. But to sit here and see these guys, see the car pushers, like I said, the guys that make it happen. The fact that they have been on just as long, if not longer than we have.
When I'm drinking beer, they don't let me talk. How do you get away with talking with this beer?
You got to get an internet show.
Yeah, you got to get an internet show, mainly that you start so that you can do whatever you want on your
Totally.
show.
So
Do you have an internet show?
we do.
Yeah, we
We're on
do.
it live right now.
We
You
are
are
live.
live on the internet show
Yeah,
with Dudes and Beer.
We're on the interwebs as we speak.
Oh, these damn people are all drinking beer and they can talk on this here.
Yeah.
Drinking
What
and
do you have
working.
to do to get a free beer?
Well,
My
a
favorite
free beer, you probably need to go talk to those ladies. However, you can enter our contest. At the end,
Come on,
we
just
will
give me
be
a sip. Just give me a sip.
just a
That's all I want,
taste,
just a sip. I'll
just
give
a
it
little
back.
taste.
Just a sip.
There you go. You can have a sip of my beer. Oh wait, you wanted her beer. I know why you wanted her beer.
That's the thing beer bellies are made of, right
That's right.
there.
That's
I just
right.
told this
Very
lady
gas
when I'm drinking Budweiser, no one lets me talk on something like that. Hey, let me ask you something, baby. What time do you get off?
5 o'clock.
What time is it?
5 o'clock.
Which one of these goons is your old man?
Mine's in Austin.
You catching that one, Brian?
Which one of these goons? Which one of these
Hey,
goons?
he's gonna take me home and I'll come back. Are you ready to go do the hoochie coochie noochie?
Oh, yeah. She's a little tuckered.
What does that tattoo say on your arm?
Sisters.
What does it say?
Sisters? Me and my sister have one.
Yeah.
I
Sister.
can't hear
Is this the
people.
logo?
That's it.
That's the
Sister.
Feel free to take one of those keychains. Have a keychain.
Have a keychain. Take
Yeah.
that with you.
Take a
What's that
keychain and a
key to?
sticker.
Your heart?
I guess. I don't
And
know.
it's got that bottle opener.
Were you intoxicated when you got that?
No.
No. That's never a good way to get tattoos.
Never a good way to buy a car at an auction either. I'm gonna tell you that.
Well,
I disagree. I think the drunker the better if you're going to throw down $100,000.
just don't drive it home.
Hey, sweetie pie, what's your name?
Julie.
Who?
Julie.
Empty bank account.
Julie.
Judy.
Julie.
I dated her. Anyway, that's another. What's that goon laughing about? Hey,
He's laughing. He's
I
just
think
laughing.
you're in character.
Y'all have like
Steve
a
laughs at
special
everything.
group. I
Yeah.
mean, y'all over here, y'all just have
What
to
is
drink
this?
beer, or is it
It's a
like-
beer opener. You can have it.
You should take
Yeah,
one.
you should
Is
take
that
a
an
beer
opener?
opener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll open something.
I like these people. They're all drunks and alcohol. Can I get another chair? Can I get that chair and get right up next to you, Judy?
I'm sorry.
It's a little much. I don't know. That might make her uncomfortable.
Have y'all met many people like me today?
Yeah,
Quite a
we have.
few.
We have.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
we've
God.
had a great
I'm from Texas, man.
There's no. Where are you from?
Texas,
Here,
Houston.
There's no shortage of goons in Houston. I'm
No.
gonna tell you that.
No,
That's what we do.
that's why we
know,
shut
right?
down. We shut down Astro World because all those drunk goons.
No more Astroworld. The goons
That's
burn.
it.
Dropped off when their moms were
That's
gone.
it. That's it.
Hey,
All right.
what time you get off?
5.
Right.
Well, he's gonna take me home, and then I'm about 45.
Push him out.
Make sure he rolls well, and whenever you come back looking for her, she's going to the auto show next. So
Are you
she's
picking your nose? Right
no, I'm not.
Motherfucker.
Bye.
All kinds of goons from Houston,
All
buddy.
kinds of Houston goons.
All kinds of Houston goons.
Rolling up at Mecum.
That's it.
Handshakes, just fist bump.
All right. Hey, you.
Yeah.
Do you know what you call? You know what you call a black man up in a tree with 3 tree
Hey. Now, yeah.
Live.
He's
We're
the
live.
branch manager.
You're the. That was a little much, folks, and
Yikes.
not really what Dudes and Beer is all about.
Nope.
But we are all about Mecum.
Yep.
We are all about giving people a hard time too.
That's
We
the
do
live
that
randomness you
frequently.
get when you're live.
That happens when
that
you're
is
live,
the
guys.
randomness
Sorry.
that happens when you're live.
Nothing like a
Uh,
little bit of sexism and racism to
That's
end the
it.
day.
That's it. It's such a great day on such an odd, uncomfortable note.
Other people's opinion does not reflect
That was-
ours.
No,
Hey,
no, they don't.
how you
That's
doing?
like even at the beginning.
How you doing, Garrett Brown? I hope
Hey,
you
Garrett.
weren't. I hope you weren't tuned in for that horrible racist comment just a moment
Yeah,
ago.
well, he's drunk.
Yeah,
He is drunk.
He
Sure.
seems highly
And
intoxicated.
hopefully,
At least on
if
the
he's drunk,
No.
if he's
no.
drunk, he at least explores the option of riding home with fare.
Yeah,
Because
well, he did have a ride. That is the only reasonable thing that he said in that whole thing is
That's
that
true.
somebody was driving him around.
that's true. That's a plus. His friends seem fairly right and sober.
He did. His
I
friend
wanna say
seemed
that
a
was
But
little
if you're
upset.
not right and
I think it
sober,
was his
Yeah.
son. He seemed a
download
little embarrassed.
download the free Fare app and use code Dudes10. You will start compiling points for your next ride immediately whenever you use Fare and use code Dudes10. 10% of all your rides goes into an account just for you and lets you actively use those as ride credits. So,
Garrett, I hope you had fun today.
I hope you had fun today, Garrett. It was a pleasure meeting you. It was a pleasure
Sure was.
having you come over here and
Good luck
register
with your DJ
and
career.
spin the wheel. He's a DJ.
Yeah.
Oh God, keep in touch.
Yeah, I checked him out on, I want to say Twitter. Yes, Twitter.
All right, fantastic. Well, Godspeed with that, Garrett. And make sure that you pay ASCAP fees and all that kind of good stuff. Take care of things properly with business, and make sure that you show up to your gigs at least 30 minutes early. That's my professional advice. You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
I don't
Garrett.
think we needed to tell him that. I
But-
think he probably would anyway.
Well, I mean,
His
Yeah.
Twitter handle is at DJ Gbox. Little
All right.
free shout out there.
Cool.
all right.
Sounds really
Go.
awesome.
Go.
DJ
Garrett.
G-Box.
DJ G-Box at DJ G-Box. And we do that all the time. We gave a shout out earlier to some people that we met. We are all about that. We're all about promoting everybody, giving everybody an equal space of time, unless you're doing something horribly bigoted.
In which case, please just keep
You gotta
going.
keep moving. You gotta.
This
You know what we
is
need?
2017.
You know what we need?
Are you kidding me?
We need somebody in a clown outfit with a broom.
Hey, we wanted
So
to.
whenever that happens, it's like the Apollo.
No.
They come up.
we
Just
surely.
get an oversized shepherd's crook and just pull
That's
it
right.
out.
Just pull them off.
We wanted to leave this show, this last segment, with a bang.
On a
But
high note.
it didn't necessarily
Kind of with
mean
a
a bang
question
we were gonna
mark,
like, though. You
a little
know.
bit.
Well, we've still got a little bit
That
of
was a
time.
bang.
We can
Yeah,
recover
we're all right,
from
we're
that.
all right.
We can,
Maybe
we can
somebody
definitely
like
recover
super
from
dope will
that.
walk by
Yeah.
in a minute and
Well,
be
right
like,
now we do have
ladies
this-
and all people of colors and
We
are
do,
awesome.
We do have this. Yes, exactly. Thank you. It's diversity that makes the world go round. Good Lord. Otherwise, we'd have a friggin' family shoot instead of a family tree.
Speaking of diversity, let's talk about this. We got this awesome
I know.
cherry red Bel
So
Air.
pretty.
Look at that,
Because
Bill.
And
gorgeous
then with
banana
like
yellow
a Ferrari right behind
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It
the
makes
banana
no
yellow
sense
Ferrari
how they stack
is,
these cars.
Sharp.
It is,
Sharp.
it is
With
yellow.
bananas, and now I like
with
that
the
one
with
too.
the Testarossa coming up right
Yeah,
behind it.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
and
also
mean,
would not kick that out
What
of
are
my
we?
garage.
What are we looking at? The 139 there. That is actually a '73 Ferrari 365
Ooh.
GTB4 Daytona that's
I like
running
it.
across. And if, yeah.
You know, that's an opal body.
What's that?
That's an opal body, I
Uh,
believe.
You mean from the car Opal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Explain what you mean by that, because not many people understand the hodgepodge that can happen with the restoration or the customization of a vehicle there, Pop.
Oh, well, it just looks like an opal design, but the way the back slopes and the back end is a little squared off, and then you've got those nice flared rear quarters.
Yeah.
It's really a beautiful car. What was what is it called? What was it?
That was a 365 GTB4 Daytona, 1973.
1973.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then right here we've got the amazing '89 Testarossa. That
Oh my
and-
gosh, I remember when I was little, like that was my dream car.
Right. That was the one back in
That was the one that was always on the posters and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
the 80s.
Testarossa. Oh, brings me back. It's funny, like, I mean, I wouldn't kick it out of my garage at all, but it is super 80s looking at it.
Oh,
it's
God,
like
yeah,
such
yeah.
an 80s car.
Did Magnum
is,
PI drive
absolutely.
that car? I think so, didn't he? Did
Was
he
that
have a
the car that Magnum
PI?
had?
Yeah, Magnum.
It may
He
have
had
been.
a Ferrari.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
it was that one.
And it was
think-
red
I
too,
think-
I think, wasn't it? Didn't he
Yes,
have a
it
red
was.
Ferrari?
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't his, it was like the person that owned the house.
Yeah.
The butler. I'll loan you my car. The butler.
Yeah, we've got a few more Mustangs that just came up in line in front of us here. We've got a '69 Mustang Fastback directly in front of us in a beautiful
Mach
maroon,
1.
dark red, and then behind that is the '67 Shelby GT500 Fastback, which is, I mean, you know, one of the quintessential muscle cars, so to speak. Just the one that everybody talks about forever and always. If I'm not mistaken, that was, let's see, it was a 67. I'm trying to remember if that was Eleanor or not in Fast and Furious, but I know it was a GT500 Shelby that it was. I just can't remember if that was the year. Amy and I recently were on Amazon Video actually, and went to watch Fast and Furious because it's one of those I've come in and out of. It's a fun romp of a
Didn't
movie.
they have one on Gone in
what have you.
60 Seconds or something like that?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one
Yeah,
I'm thinking of. Not Fast
yeah.
and Furious.
See,
Gone
that's
in
what I was
60
thinking
seconds.
that you were thinking.
Gone in 60 seconds.
So we-
Thank you. You're right.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is not in Fast and
74.
Furious,
Yeah.
which is why it's not good.
Nope,
Um,
that's not right.
I beg you differ.
But
Don't like the cage.
It's
Yeah.
a 67.
is it a 67?
The one
Eleanor?
from Gone in 60 Seconds
Yeah.
is,
Yeah. So we are actively looking in Eleanor right now, the car that was Nick Cage's dream car and Gone in 60 Seconds. And whenever we were going through Amazon Video, we actually ran across Gone in 60 Seconds, and I was like, "Oh, you want to watch it?" And the covers, like the cover images, almost look the same. And it literally took about 10 minutes into the movie because I've come and gone from it so many times. I think maybe once I've seen it completely from beginning to end. But yeah, we started watching it and I was like, this is not
not great.
this is not Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it and I was like, wait a minute, no. Gone in 60 Seconds was originally like a horrible B movie.
Yeah, from like 1974.
Yeah. And we found out like that's what we were watching. And oh my God, yeah, the plot line just goes like left and right. And here, like, there's a dude that you don't even figure out what happens to him in the movie. Like, you don't even find out. They just drop him, and he must not have made it to the next day of shooting. And they're like, well, that's it.
Well, he's out.
Cutting floor.
Keep the other
Director
scene
was
in.
drunk.
Oh, well, you can tell that it was totally done on budget. That, you know, half of it all the chase scenes.
Nice, there it is. That's that one.
All the chase scenes were shot with like 16 millimeter because you didn't need to have sound on it, and then all the scenes with people were shot with 35 because it had sound. So it was like you could tell the difference in frames and frame rates. It was just nuts. So yeah, Eleanor there reminded me of that. And, yeah, there's an example of those beautiful, just classic muscle car wheels that I love. That are utter simplicity. Nothing bling about them, just straight, beautiful power on
Just
the road.
found out from the internet that the actual Eleanor from the movie was just sold at auction in 2013 for $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah, $1 million.
$1 million.
For that car, basically. I mean, it's a beautiful car.
And was that a Mecum auction?
That's a great question. Let me click on the link.
I bet it was. Something tells me.
I don't know.
We'll see. I don't know. There's some pretty prestigious auctions out there, but Mecum has definitely come around as
Dana Mecum 26th original spring classic auction in Indianapolis. Nice. Good job. Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
Thank you, interwebs.
Well, and it's just the fact of, you know, like I said, there are prestigious auctions all over the place. There are prestigious auctions that happen across the globe, across the country. But there is not one that happens as regularly as Mecum. Mecum is on a regular basis, easily bi-monthly. They are all over the country, trying to get things happening every month, and it's amazing to see where they've come from in the last 3 years, even, and the strides that they've made, and the new things that they're doing, the new things that they're incorporating with the show. It's great. Even things like us.
It's like we were saying earlier, like a traveling circus, you know? But
It
with
is
cars.
literally a traveling circus. Like, people don't understand that whenever they. We were talking about that yesterday, coming back from seeing Dave Morton, our media guy. You know, just he was like, "Oh, I'm just worn out." Like
he looked worn out.
That's
the first time I've seen him.
He's literally seen his bed twice in the last 3 months. Twice. He's been home twice for like 2 days at a stretch in 3 months.
Oh,
That's nuts.
And you know,
I'm gonna
it's
start delegating, maybe.
well, it's just the fact of there are certain things that whenever you say, it's like signing on to be a tour manager of a rock and roll show across the country. Like, you know what comes with it when you sign on. You know that it's going to be 3 a.m. mornings and you know, waking up at 8 a.m. before the musicians do to make sure that their bags are downstairs and things like that. You know, it's details. You know, whenever you think about the fact that this show comes into town and every single media outlet out there is here. Local NBC affiliates come out. They go out. They do a live remote at the TV station, you know, and he has to keep track of all that.
Yeah.
He has to manage all that. He has to have the infrastructure to be able to get the news crews in, get them out, and then 10 minutes later have another news crew come in to talk to somebody totally different in another part of his facility about something totally different. And then he has people like us who come in, and he's like, "Oh, let me bring you some interviews," and is just piling interviews on us all day, you know, and it's amazing.
I thought I'd seen him earlier. He kind of gave me that look and kind of was like, I kind of got a feeling from him like he's going to bring us somebody. But
I got to talk with him for about 10 minutes after the last segment, and proudly told him that, hey, just so you know, I know that you lined us up with the guys from Big Red Racing last year. We actually just got to talk to Mr. Lisco, the man that purchased the Big Red replica last year. And that it was just, he was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, you know, kind of bookending it year to year. I was like, yeah, I mean, the odds of that happening are absolutely phenomenal. The odds of us ever randomly finding the guy that purchased Big Red are just astronomical. So the fact that that happened was pretty incredible. And incredible things happen at Mecum. You know, dreams come true at Mecum, not just for shows like ours, but for things like caring kids cancer. You know, and for things like West Houston Muscle. You know, the number of people that they have sign up every year.
There's some good charities out there that are, you know, auctioning their cars for good causes. You know?
There's great charities, there's great organizations, there's great local meetup groups that put up booths here, because people don't even realize that, like, if you got a classic car, like West Houston Muscle does like a monthly cars and coffee thing out at Memorial City Mall,
right?
Where it's like 7 o'clock a.m. on a Saturday, people bring donuts and coffee and set them out in front of their car.
Oh, that's neat.
You know, and it's like, bring your kids, bring the family, come out and check out some classic cars. You know, stuff like that. That really does, like we were saying earlier, Pop. It carries on that automotive tradition. It carries on that father to son passing on of knowledge, of love, of passion of American steel and American ingenuity in car design, and even the foreign ingenuity in car design. Not that there aren't many foreign models here, but I'd venture a guess, and I think we were kind of figuring it last night just from what we saw in the Saturday book. We were looking at about 68%, 70% American muscle, maybe about 30% foreign.
Yeah.
And that's just...
Most of those are the Porsches and the Lamborghinis and...
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what it amounts
to. Sure. And you've got things like the 51 Fiat that crossed across a while ago, the little green one that you were looking at. It's beautiful. You know, and little known fact about Italy at that point, and even up until the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, you could not have, they literally had practice cars that were cut in half. It was a vehicle that was cut in half, and whenever you took driver's ed, your first month of driver's ed was learning how to fix your car. You could actually not get a license to drive unless you knew what every single part of your car actually did.
Where was this?
Italy.
Oh,
Italy. Yeah.
That's something they ought to keep doing.
You think so? Would you have a license, Steve?
I think I would, yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't do it myself, but
you could look at like a dissected engine and point out the crankshaft?
I think so, actually.
And tell somebody what it does?
That could be like engine, transmission.
Okay, well...
Seatbelt.
I don't know about all them details, maybe, but some of them.
It was pretty crazy. The show that I saw it on was like this 70-year-old woman, and she was an antique salesman. I think I may have seen it on like American Pickers or something, and they were like in Europe. But literally, like, they were down in the catacombs, like, of this dude's house, like, down underneath in these tunnels and stuff. And it was just crazy for this 70-year-old woman. He's like, really? You still remember any of that? And she starts naming off parts inside the transmission.
Crazy.
Like, inside the transmission. Not just like, that's the transmission.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, there's the first gear. There's the flywheel. You know, it's like, oh my God, like this 70-year-old woman knows more about cars than I ever could. Like, wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. And, you know, she never really had to work on a car. She just had to know what all the parts did. And it's interesting that we here in America, like, I'm not going to say the birth of the automotive tradition, because technically we weren't the birth. There was another dude other than Henry Ford over across the pond that had some stuff going on.
Right, it's always across the pond.
But being the front runner of automotive technology, being the front runner of the automotive industry, it's odd to me that we don't keep up with things like that. It's odd to me that, you know, cars are turned over to people and turned over to kids, and, you know, I'm not going to say that many of my friends weren't guilty of it. They had cars and had no idea. Like they had no idea what the sound of brakes going bad was. They had no idea, like, oh my God, my front end's wobbling whenever I hit my brakes. What is that? You know, and I guess to me,
that's what keeps mechanics in business, though.
right? It is.
I mean, that's a cycle of life there in the automotive world.
Oh, sure.
Those that can't do it have others do it for them.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. Well, like I said, I've worked in shops. I know how to turn an oil wrench. You know, I know how to put that wrench onto my filter and turn counterclockwise and take it off.
Isn't
and drain
it also getting to the point in our time frame that a lot of these vehicles are computerized and kind of keeps us from doing certain things that used to be done, like you're saying?
It can to an extent. The thing is, the parts are still there. You're still like. You crack open a transmission, unless you're looking at like a hardcore electronic transmission, like what's in some of the new Honda Jukes or something like that, you know, where there are literally no moving parts inside of it. I don't know how that happens, but literally there's no moving parts inside of it. It's wild. It's crazy.
I think too, you know, back in those days, if you had a car, you had a garage.
Yeah.
You know, and you had a place to
Well,
put the stuff to work on it.
That's true too. Most people who owned a car were homeowners. They had a garage, they had a shade tree, they had something to work on it underneath. They didn't live in an apartment where it's like, we see that thing up on blocks, we're going to give you a fine.
Right.
You know? My thing about changing oil is the fact of, not that I don't know how to do it and where to go get the parts and what filter to buy, it's that, hey, for $10 more, if they screw it up, they get to fix it.
Give somebody work, and it's not very expensive.
Yeah, and I'd much rather give somebody $10 to have a job. You know, like I got better things to do than change my oil in life right now.
Although the funny thing is typically you sit there and wait for it, and the time you're waiting for them to fix it, you could have done it yourself.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
now there's the mobile oil changing, which is awesome, where they like come to your work and change your oil while you're at work.
No
like,
kidding.
That's great. It's like a little bit more expensive, but totally worth it.
Yeah, it's like $10-15 more, but hey, if you can't leave work for the day and you got to get it done.
Yeah.
Now, see, they don't have a lot of that stuff here in Houston necessarily. It's just because of the proximity of drive. It would take an eternity for somebody to get to your house to come.
Traffic and
I
stuff.
don't know. I'm sure that I've seen mobile mechanics.
Yeah.
I've seen mobile mechanic trucks going around.
I guess that's true. Now,
Look at this Ferrari.
yeah. Nice banana yellow with
Yellow.
the matching brakes.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that today, the matching brake color.
The guy driving that Ferrari looks really, really upset about driving that Ferrari. He
He's
looks
having
like
a bad
he looks like he's
day.
had better things to do in life than drive that Ferrari. But probably not better things to do with that shit-eating grin on his face.
I bet that's just the funnest job.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's just it. Like you look around, you see these guys pushing like, you know, $100,000 automobiles and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They are joking, they're laughing, they're having a good time. They are all about it. You know, they're having a great time. I've never even stepped backstage into the broadcast part of Mecum and not seen the crew having a good time. It is literally like one huge extended family. It's absolutely amazing and phenomenal, the attitude that goes on behind this show. And it shows. The enthusiasm shows. Like I said, when you find people that are passionate about what they do, it's infectious. You can't not want to be around it. And like every time I come to this show, I am just jazzed beyond belief. And half of it is the staff. It's the people telling me like, oh man, if you like what I'm pushing over here, wait till you see what's coming up around the corner. Because I was trying to get my hands on that, and they told me to come push this one. You know, it's wild. It's insane. The sights, the smells. It is a visceral experience. It really is. And yeah, as we bring this final part of the Dudes and Beer coverage of the Mecum Auto Auction here in Houston, Texas to a close, I'd like to thank the entire cast. I'd also like to thank Garrett Brown. Let's answer his final question here.
Sure.
We'll kind of go around the table, starting with Randy, going to Pop, Steve, Julie. We'll close out with me and close out the show. Let's answer Garrett's question. What is your favorite make of automobile? What is your favorite car brand?
Oh wow, my favorite. I would say if I had to look at all the body styles and stuff over the years, decades of different body styles and cars and all of that, I would probably have to say Chevrolet.
Yeah.
I like a lot of Ford stuff too, but if I had to say, count on my fingers and toes, the number of cars that I like, or would say, I'd like to have one of those. The majority of them would probably be GM, Chevrolet brand. So I'd say Chevrolet.
All right.
Yeah, I'd definitely have to say Chevrolet as well. I mean, they've had a wonderful product for a long, long time. You can't beat some Fords. You can't beat some Dodges. You can't beat some Plymouths. But overall, it seems like Chevrolet's always had the top sellers in their market.
Yeah.
Now, nowadays, all the new cars look the same.
Yeah.
I mean, you go out on the highway, and when we were young, we'd sit on the corner and we would name the car coming down the street.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could tell. Okay, this is a 65 Barracuda. This is a 58.
My dad could do it by headlights.
Oh yeah, right.
Simply by the shape of the headlights coming down the road at night.
That was part of it. That was part of the mystique. And, but today you go out. A Toyota looks like a Nissan looks like an Infiniti. Infiniti looks like a Mazda. All of them have these little boxy things, styles.
And I really think that some of that comes from, like we were saying earlier, though, that there's an incestuous nature to the automotive industry. I mean,
they follow each other.
Well, not just they follow each other; they acquire each other. For somebody to go out and buy a Jaguar now and think that it's not made by Ford, to think that it's not designed by Ford, to think that it's not using Ford parts, it's just like going out and buying a Lexus. Great, you went out and bought a very expensive Toyota Camry.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. You bought and they do it mainly because the body style is
pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You can use the same frame, you can use the same brakes, you can use the same seats,
maybe
not the same quarter panels. Because you're looking for a different look.
Change up the grill a little bit.
But the engine's the same. They can cross-communicate so many parts between them that it saves them money in manufacturing in order to do so.
Right. And so that's not conducive to the creativity that we used to have.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things that we talked about last time with the CEO of Mecum, talking about that is the actual fact that the new Mustangs that are coming out in 2018 will have governor chips built into them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that literally track you via GPS and live throttle you down to the associated speed limit to where you are.
Wow.
That's
whereas the Google car is actively programmed to violate the speed limit if the traffic around it dictates.
Which makes sense. It's safer.
You know what?
So it's like you've taken the decision of the driving out of the hands of the human being entirely.
Right.
That's what I was going to say. It's not worth it. It's just more Big Brother right up your ass.
Well, and it's literally the fact of now it's just the American road. What happened to the freedom of the American road?
The autonomous road.
And I'm not saying hey, let's hit up like I love taking. People ask me why I take Highway 71
Oh
to
my gosh,
Austin.
you can
It's
fly.
because it's 75 miles an hour, Jack, and there's no red
I
lights.
caught myself at one point. I was feeling like a little bit nauseous. I was going 99 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh snap.
Yeah, no, there
Pull it
were a
back.
couple parts with me and Steve where like, yeah, you know, especially once I hit
We were
I-10.
cruising along, man.
Once I hit I-10, like my foot tends to hit the gas pedal a little bit more,
crazy.
and it's like sometimes I'll look down and be like, yeah, all right, we're at 85 in Sealy right now. We could
99.
probably
I didn't
we
even
could
know
probably
Escape
slow
could
it up.
Go 99.
We're 15 miles away from our destination. We
Yeah.
could probably slow it up. We're going like 20 over the speed limit now.
Throttle back a little bit. Just a
But,
little bit.
but yeah, I mean that. To your point, what you were saying, there's the ingenuity, the passion for design, and the uniqueness of design. Like looking at just these three vehicles right here. Granted, this is not an American vehicle here next to us. That is a Ferrari or a Porsche. But you're looking at the Z28 Rally Sport. And then you're looking at the Impala right behind. Is that an Impala?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a Chrysler.
Is that a Chrysler?
I think so.
I lost my green sheet. It fell down
Oh,
somewhere.
It's a Dodge. I think that's a Dodge.
Is that a Dodge?
Really?
That's an old Dodge.
Yeah, let's see. We had the Porsche. There's the pickup.
S149 is the lot number. Are you talking about the white one back
Yes, yes. 149. That's what we're looking at.
Uh-huh.
149. Yeah, that's a
149.
Dodge Dart Phoenix. That is the Dodge Dart Phoenix.
there? I like it.
Yeah.
What year? 960?
Yep.
61 maybe?
Yeah. And let's see where to go. Dodge Dart Phoenix is a 60. It is a 60.
Yeah.
And to look at that, and look at just 9 years later. Right here's a Camaro from '69 in
love
front of
that.
us. That's from '60, and just look at the vast, huge. And it's not that there was a lot of technological difference between '60 and '69. You know.
No, but that body style.
But
I
the
mean, it's
body
night and
style,
day.
the conceptualization of the vehicle and the lines and the audience that they're going for, because they were utterly designed.
I like that.
Oh yeah, the rally sport's beautiful,
Yeah.
man.
That's a lot of chrome.
It is. It is. Now, yeah, that Phoenix is just chromed out, dude.
You just spend your
Dude,
whole
I
day
like that
wiping
rally
that sucker
sport.
down.
Oh my God,
Well, I think, really and truly, I think the industry's driven by electronics and that kind of stuff these days. They don't care about the aesthetics.
No, it's
most
accessory, not
vehicles.
aesthetics.
And then you've got the box. What is it?
The Scion?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude,
God.
that
that
little
looks.
hamster one?
You know,
Yeah.
The soul or something?
yeah, the
Element,
Honda
yeah.
Element.
Yeah.
No,
Well, they stopped making that one, I
I
think.
mean, how
the
much?
Scion.
How much did it take?
I remember Derek Gorman came and picked me up at Love Field one time in a Scion, and I guess he was renting it to like leasing it for a couple months to check it out and stuff. And I was like, "What the hell is this, dude?" He's like, "Oh, this is a player, man. You don't like it?" I'm like, "Quite honestly, it looks like some designer completely forgot his deadline." And his boss came in that morning and went, "You know, hey, we got that meeting at 9 o'clock. You got the design done?"
Be like,
Yeah.
"Take
Yeah,
that box."
I sure do. And it's like he took the picture that his kid drew off the refrigerator in his
Yeah.
office, and it's like there's a stick figure sticking out the window.
Right.
It's like a box with wheels, and
Yeah.
look, this is what my
Exactly.
daddy does.
Exactly.
Like,
Box
that was my first impression of that vehicle.
or shoe.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
A box with
The
wheels.
Element 2 my sister had one, and inexplicably, it has suicide doors. So it's this humongous box of a car, and the doors open outwards, opposite. So you really can't get in or out of it with any kind of functionality. It makes no sense. It's like, come on, guys. Like
That
the
sounds like a
inside
bunch
is
of
kind
crap.
of cool because the floorboards were like you could hose them out, but like, what's the point if you can't actually get into the car with any kind of ease?
Yeah, we're sorry about the audio drop, folks. Somebody just decided to start this freaking
Wow.
Ferrari Testarossa V12 next to us, and for some reason it's a little bit loud. So, Steve-O,
Yeah.
while that's going on,
Yeah, really. Well, that's going on.
why don't you tell us your favorite make
Well,
a car?
I'll jump around a little bit, you know, like I kind of dig Pontiacs a little bit, you know. The Trans Ams I really love. I also like Corvette Stingrays. I'm partial to Challengers, Dodge Challenger, whatever.
All right.
And I don't really have like a particular one, say Ford, Chevy, or whatever. I just know, I guess, certain ones that I like.
Sure. You know what you like when you see it.
Yeah, kind of like that,
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Well, is there anything new today that you like?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
take that a little
different
further.
manufacturers.
New and old.
When I came in, I like that orange Roadrunner, that Daytona one.
Yeah.
I like that one. I've been digging these Ferraris, but I don't know. Every time I see that damn Trans Am, it really does something. I like that one. So yeah, every time I see that, they're pretty much at every one. So
Yeah, there's always a Bandit for sale.
I'll tell you
I
the
love the
car
Bandit.
that I like today is the Nissan 370Z.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have one this summer.
You were saying that last night. You were looking at getting a 370Z.
Yeah, we're gonna get. My wife wants a convertible, and this summer it's gonna happen.
Well, you let me know when it happens so I can come and put Dalbus on the dashboard while we take it for a ride.
Okay. All right. We'll strap it to the
BTS turn
strap
away.
it to the trunk.
That's right.
And haul it down
That's
there.
right. Every kid loves.
Get him cleaned out. We'll go
Kids,
through.
kids love the fresh air, officer.
A good rainstorm.
I'll go to
That's
sleep.
like bath time,
As-
Yeah, there you go. Bath time.
I'll go to
Strap
sleep.
it to the
Oh, Dalbus,
strap
why?
it to the tongue.
Roll down.
But
so
so as far as 370's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
now, but that's what I like. That's what I'm going to get. That.
all right. Well, how about you, Julie?
I'm super definitely a Ford girl. My first car was not a Ford. It was the 87 GMC Safari. But then my second car, I had like a little mint green 96 Ford hatchback. And then I got a 2000 Mustang convertible. Then I went away from the Ford for a little bit and I got that horrible PT Cruiser, which was just a total piece. And now I have an Escape. And I love it.
Cruiser, PT Cruiser.
Yeah, such a piece. Like I was like, oh, that's cute. No, it was a disaster.
Yeah. Well, you got cute.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got cute out of it.
Yeah, it was
You got
cute. It was cute and it was stupid. It was so stupid. I see why they don't make them. It's an awful, awful car.
Don't beat yourself too much about it.
I know, right? I hated
Yeah,
that car.
it's over.
Like literally
Yeah, it's over. We
within like
forgive you.
2
Your
days of
nightmare is
owning it,
over.
I was like, I hate this car, and I had it for 11 years. So I guess like it wasn't that bad, but like I hated that car. So now I have a Ford Escape, which is like super soccer mom car, but I love it. My dream car is a Shelby. Every time I go to the dealership to like get my oil changed or something, I go in and just drool over those. I'm hardcore a Ford girl, like tried and true. I love Fords. Like even walking around here, I found myself taking pictures of all the cars that were like catching my eye, and they were like the vintage Ford trucks, and they were the Mustangs. Like I
Yeah.
love Ford. I love them. They just
I'm a
they
sucker
do
for a Ford
something.
F100, man.
Oh, right, that was Brian's first car. He had a 78 F100.
Three
It
on
was
the
like
tree.
amazing, and that's when I met Brian. He was driving that car or that truck, and I just was like sitting in the front seat, and we hadn't even started dating yet. And I was like, "This is a hot truck. Like, I love Ford." So for me, it's Ford.
All right.
Okay, so Chris, it's your turn.
Myself, is quite honestly, as far as classics go, I like my muscle cars. I really do, and I know that they weren't like amazingly done, but they were done in lower quantities, and I guess that's why I like them so much. You don't see Plymouths on the road as much as you do Chevys, Fords, things like that. You know, you don't see as many of them.
Yeah, because they broke.
They broke.
They got broken.
I know. I'm just talking about pretty. I'm just talking about
okay.
pretty.
It's okay.
called
I'm not one to judge.
They've got brokerage.
I'm just talking about what catches my eye whenever I walk in somewhere. Whenever I see a CUDA, something like that, yeah, like my eye immediately turns. It's one of those, like, I love a fastback. It's probably hands down like my second favorite car of all time. I love a Mustang fastback.
We might have to.
But yeah, my heart belongs to Plymouth, and it's those crazy cars like the Roadrunners. And,
So you like that Daytona?
you know, the Daytonas.
Yes.
And,
Those weren't crazy cars.
yeah.
Those weren't crazy cars.
Well, I mean, it just interesting, unique. You know,
Yeah.
they stood out on the road whenever you saw them. There was
Yeah.
no confusion as to what it was.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about them. They were distinct. They made bold moves in design that were like, yeah, let's put this obnoxious 2-foot spoiler on the back of this thing.
Yeah.
Because it just looks hot. It just looks fast. You know?
This is my truck.
So, this is my truck. Julie almost just spit took on that one. That was great.
There's a lot of good things in this life.
When it comes to modern stuff, I really tend to go much more toward the Dodge and Chevy road, and it's because they really did start I think a lot of the rebirth.
Yeah, brought back the Camaros.
They brought back the Camaros. They and you know, Ford followed suit with the Thunderbird and stuff like that.
Mustang.
And the Mustang.
Those Mustangs.
But I mean, I loved. I'll admit it. Probably one of my favorite modern cars that came out that was a reboot was the Thunderbird. When the Thunderbird came out, it was like, wow, look at that.
It was cute because they really threw it back.
Round window in the back, like just the way it was. Round headlights, round tail lights. It was like, yeah, you really brought it back. And I think that because they weren't hugely popular, they didn't sell a lot. But I think it really turned the industry eye at that point to be like, wow, look at this. Like, people really just bought into the Thunderbird again, and the Thunderbird hadn't been popular since like the early '80s.
Although it didn't have that long a run.
No, it didn't. It was only out for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think it really changed the industry eye because it was shortly after that they started talking about bringing the Challenger back. That they started talking about
which is a good looking car.
bringing the Dart back, bringing back all these cars that were mainstays of their lines for years and years and years.
And wouldn't it be simply amazing if they would bring back some of the real old classics with 100% electronics.
Yeah.
And all the new suspension that they could use. And,
Yeah.
I mean, a little like this Camaro SS right here.
Oh, yeah.
427.
Yeah.
It's like a transformer.
Yeah.
You could update, bring that back in the body style, and have it entirely just mainstream in new technology.
Yeah.
It would. I guess it'd kill the old market, but it'd make everybody else happy.
Sure.
But it wouldn't really kill the old market because there's still going to be the people that want the original.
That's
Right.
it. There's always going to be people that want what they have. There's always going to be the
The
people
collectors.
like the nice gentleman that was here that bought Big Red. That was like, I was here to buy other cars
Right.
until I walked by Big Red.
Yeah.
And it really took me back to like Camaro. Like, what were the cars that I owned as a kid? Camaro.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, I walked by it again and I just couldn't walk away. You know, like, and I'm sure y'all swapped even more story outside
We
being
did.
the gearheads that y'all.
Yeah,
that's
we
why.
did,
That's
yeah.
why I was like, you need to leave the table now, Pop, because the conversation you're gonna have out there is way better.
Yeah, it was.
Like you're gonna
It was.
like you're gonna love that kind of. As soon as I met him, I was like, Pops needs to meet this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was straight up. He was great. And on that note, everybody, talking about being straight up and great, we have a straight up great audience. I absolutely love our audience. I love our fans. You guys have kept us going for almost 2 years now. It's phenomenal. You're going to keep us going past the 100th episode this upcoming Tuesday, live at Hops and Grain in Austin, Texas, right up on Callis Street and 7th. Come out and check us out if you're in the area. If you're not in the area, download the Dudes and Freaking Beer app. It's free, costs absolutely nothing. Party in your pocket. I am creepily there with you all the time. Anytime you need me, turn me on. I'll talk to you. It's all good.
That's freaky, man.
Great. I'll have a beer with you. You can sit there and you can drink beer technically by yourself, but not be by yourself, because I'm drinking with you on the air. So it's all good.
You creeper.
See?
But you're
I
still
am
good by
willing
yourself.
for you to use me and the podcast and Steven as you're enabling to listen to Dudes
The
and
dark
Beer and
side.
relax. And don't go crazy. Julie's shaking her head, palm, face in her palm. And it's like, I'm not saying get crazy. I'm saying have a beer or two. And if you're going to get crazy, use FAIR. Use the code DUDES10, DUDES10. And you'll start saving 10%, and that goes toward your ride credits. You earn all of that, and you actively get to use that to ride for free with FAIR. So it's a great system. It's fantastic for those of you that used to drive for Uber, things like that. They don't actually take the 23% that Uber took. They give money to you. It's fantastic. So check out FAIR. Check out the Dudes and Beer app. Check out the 100th episode coming up on Tuesday. And
Doug Strahan on the 18th.
And Doug Strahan on the 18th. We're going to have Doug Strahan in
be a good one,
studio.
man.
Shout out to Doug Strahan.
Shout out.
And on that note, everybody.
Now, on this note, thank you very much for having me
Oh.
down here. It was really a wonderful time.
I thought of nobody else but you to have. Whenever I found out we were doing it, I was like, I got to get Pops, dude.
And I came straight down.
You did. You did.
Yeah, you did.
Running.
No hesitation.
You ran for
Yeah, you
about
did.
the first 200 miles, and you were like, I'll get there eventually. Don't worry about it.
But I sure appreciate it. Thanks
Absolutely,
very
my
much.
friend. And you are definitely invited to Mecum Dallas whenever we go to Mecum Dallas in
yeah.
September. So, on that note, thank you once again, everybody. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Andrew, back there for his help, making sure that the prize wheel didn't fall down all day. Thank you, Mecum. Thank you, Mecum family, Mecum Auto pushers and drivers for making the show happen. Thank you to all of our guests today. And once again, everybody, absolutely, thank you to you. Thank you to you for being you, for tuning into us, for choosing Dudes and Beer. And on that note, everybody, that pretty much wraps it for this edition of Dudes and Beer Live from the Mecum Auto Auction. Tune in to Dudes and Beer Live, episode 100, this upcoming Tuesday night, beginning at 8 p.m. on
Thanks
the
for
app
listening
and
to this
online.
episode
If you're
of
in
the Dudes and
Austin,
Beer Podcast.
starts at 7. See you
To
then.
listen to
Take
our
care.
audio streams and chat with us live, download the official Dudes and Beer app for both Android and iDevices, available on the Google Play and iTunes markets. For more episodes, content, and information, visit us online at dudesandbeer.com. You can also find our episodes on Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast service. Dudes and Beer is a proud member of the Revolution Digital Group family of podcasts. Thanks for listening, everybody, and until next time, drink responsibly.